All right, we got week 20, the division round. We got the Texans versus the Ravens. So Baltimore is favored by 7.5, and I'm going to take Baltimore. I'm not going to lie to you. I really want Texans to win. I like CJ Stroud. I like that team. But as I go over the data, I just don't see a strong argument for it. Um, I will say this. Sometimes who I root for and who I think is going to win isn't always the same, and that's the case here. But when it comes right down to it, Baltimore is a really good team. They're strong all the way around. Let's kind of walk through the numbers here. So the model is given Baltimore about a 72% chance of winning, which equates to that 6 to 7 point range. And when you take in again, when the odds makers they take in consideration home field advantage a lot more than I do, that stacks up pretty well with that 7.5 points. And again, that's just the 72 correlating to the minus 6.6. When I look at the raw scores, is it spreads out a little bit? Is it saying 27 to 17? And then the Bayesian adjustment, basically what the Bayesian adjustment is saying that when I come down here is the model has underestimated Baltimore, but it's been right on. That what that one means that it's only 1 point off of the point differential for Houston, but it's been underestimating Baltimore all year. So as you go through and you look at the numbers, as it would expand that out a little bit. So a couple things I'll point out here is when we look at the next slide, you'll notice that the numbers look pretty similar, but I think that what we see is an asymmetric attack. So Houston does not have an overpowering rushing game, but they do. CJ Stroud, they've got a fantastic passing game, and then again a little bit more asymmetry over here on their defense, where they're good against the rush, but they're weak against the pass. When we come over here with Baltimore, when I look at their rankings, they're strong in the run and the passing game. They've got a weak rushing game, but guess what? They're weak in an area where Houston is weak as well. So then there's not much there for them to exploit. And then they've got a solid passing defense. So let's go to the next slide. So with that passing defense, we see that a little bit more pressure, more sacks being put on CJ Stroud there. CJ, I think, has been really, really good this year controlling the ball. It's not showing, for when it comes to the interceptions, he's been solid all year, really good. But when you come up here to the upper left, again, when you look at the overall passing rushing, the passing looks pretty similar between the two. You definitely have an advantage over here with Baltimore as well. The other thing I point out is you see some of these high potentials. These are outliers for the passing game, and Baltimore when they get enrolled, they can control the ball, and when they're able to control the line of scrimmage and run and pass, they will. They wear down that opposing defense, and then they just get rolling, and they're virtually impossible to stop. And that's what we're kind of seeing there with the score as well. That's not to mean that Houston can't win. It's not what that means at all. But what it means is that that the probability of Houston being able to get those to come together probably just aren't as strong, particularly when you consider they're playing at Baltimore and they've had a week of rest as well. So let's come down here to the lower left. So these are actual values. So the league average for points is right around 24 points. So when you see Houston, they've been scoring a little bit under the league average, and then been giving up right around the league average. Whereas when we come down here to Baltimore, they're well above that league average as well. And then their defense has been fantastic. And so what that really tells me is some of the numbers that we see over here in the other projections don't tell the same story as what we see in the score. And that's what we see in the score is that 27-17 projected win is really showing, taking all those other pieces that I'm not displaying here with the data that can really lead to that that win. Whereas on paper, you look at them and say, hey, these teams look similar, but then when you look at the scores, you can see some of the differences there, and that's where I think that you see the strength of the Baltimore offense and defense is going to come into play. So if you like what you listen to, click like and subscribe. If you got a question or comment, drop me a note. Thank you.